Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Water Bearer podcast. So, this is a little bit bittersweet because this is the final episode of the season. So, I can't believe we've already sped through 10 episodes already. So, it's been a great time, and I'm really, really happy to really go out on a bang with this particular episode. So, make sure you watch through the end too, because I'm going to do a special announcement for something that I'm going to start tomorrow, kind of in the interim between this season and or season ending, I should say, and the new season that'll kick off on January 18th, which will be 1 year anniversary of the podcast at that point. So almost been a year. So if you have not already done so, please subscribe to the YouTube channel so that you don't miss anything. You don't miss any episodes, any content, anything like that. Also, you can listen to the podcast on the go. If you're maybe driving in a car, anything like that, you can also listen to it on Audible, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, pretty much any of the major streaming services. You can catch the podcast. So as you can see, tonight we are live on Wednesday instead of Thursday, but usually you can catch the drip every Thursday. But of course, for the next few Thursdays, we won't be having any regular episodes, but we will be, I'll be showing clips and things from some of the past episodes that we've had, and also doing a few shorts here and there. So the channel won't be completely dead for this interim over this break time, but make sure you come back and check us out again, like I said, for season 4. So, all right, I'm so excited about my guest today. We talked about this, I think it was like end of the summer, if I'm not mistaken, when I first asked him to be on, and I was like, I never take it for granted because, I know everybody's busy. Some people don't really like being on podcasts for whatever reason. So I didn't take it for granted that he was going to say yes. I was hoping, fingers crossed, hope so. But thankfully he did. So he wears so many hats. He's been, for me personally, mentor, fraternity brother, friend. We found out that we're actually probably related. So cousin, just everything. We can't really even sit next to each other in meetings because we will act a fool. So I'm so glad to have Arthur Gregg here joining us for the season finale. So for those of you who don't know, he is an Aries. So shout out to all of the Aries and everyone that is a fire sign, which Aries represents. So before I bring him out, we always kick off the show with a famous Aquarius and then a famous person of the sign of the guest that I have. So a famous Aquarius, in case you all did not know, is Chris Rock. And a famous Aries is Eddie Murphy. So I'm not sure if you all knew that, but he is an Aries. So without further ado, I will go ahead and bring out Arthur Gregg.
What's going on?
Hey,
Eddie Murphy, Chris Rock.
I know, right? Yeah, when I was looking them up, I was like, okay, 2 comedians. I was like, that's cool.
Oh, it's gonna be litty, boy.
Hey, thank you so much for joining me. And I didn't want to butcher your bio. So anything that you want to talk about or that I left out, feel free to, let the people know that too.
Brian, I thank you. First of all, thank you for thinking of me, man.
Of course.
You set it up, man. We go way back, bro. I think I was listening the other day, watching the show, and Oprah was talking about legacy. She was talking about what's your legacy.
Just took. Oh my God. Go ahead. Okay.
She went Maya Angelou. She said, "Oprah, any life you touch." Legacy. So, man, that's my goal, man. As a retiree, a recent retiree, doc, it's like building this legacy, man. It's about trying to leave this world a better place than when I found it.
Right.
I am
You've definitely done that,
doc. March all day, March 27, 1963. So this is our 60th year, and
that's
I'm the
dope.
son, man, and so this world has seen a lot. My thing, man, is to leave this earth a better place than when I came onto it. Although I didn't know what was going on when I got here.
Hey, right, but what you did.
But yeah, but I just now it's to leave it a better place, man. Touches many lives, hopefully to be an impact on lives, and man, for people to just be their best self, man. So
Right.
that's all I can say about men's, man. Is that my goal every day when I wake up, when I get going. People say, "What do you do?" My thing is I think about what are ways that I can make this place a better place that we call the world, and this thing we call life.
Right. Right. And you totally done that. And it's so funny because I had that as one of my talking points. I swear, no lie. I had just heard that thing about that you just mentioned about, I think it was it Sherry Shepherd and Oprah having the conversation about legacy. And when I thought of you when I heard them having that discussion.
Wow.
Yeah, no lie. I really did. So yeah, I remember, I don't know if you remember this, but because I had made a post about it too this week. You used to always tell me when I first got to UTD, you would say, "To whom much is given, much is required."
Yes, sir.
And sometimes, I mean, it sounds cool if a lot is not being required of you at the moment.
Yeah.
But when you have a lot of sometimes I think one time I even said, I'm like, well, can we move off some of the requirements then? And so can we push off
the list?
But that's true. That is so true. And it's as I've gone through the years and like looking back and just remembering that, a lot of times I think of you because I was like, okay, this is my much is required moment.
Yeah.
That's
a word right there, Doc. You preaching, man. But for me, man, it's like, we always think about what are we given, and we try to measure that, by tangible things, Doc. And so sometimes, we're given opportunity,
Yes.
And so we don't look at that, because you can't measure opportunity. And so we get into this, to whom much is given, much required. You're like, well, what have I gotten? Man, it's opportunity, Doc. And that's major. I have learned more, and I say this to you guys, to you. I probably learned more from you all than I have given, I think. And it's crazy because one of the other things I've learned, man, is that sometimes you got to give what you never had. Me, that's how, but it's giving what if you've never had a mentor, if you've never had someone to help guide you, sometimes you got to be that mentor. You got to give, and you ain't gonna have. It's no blueprint to it, bro. You know.
Right.
So whom much is given, much is required. Every day you are given an opportunity. So what's required from that is take advantage of the opportunity, Doc.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's true, and that's the thing. I think it's easy to say, "Oh, I want this," or "I want that," like material things, or even things that aren't tangible. But when you have to put the grit and the sweat into it, then sometimes it kind of weeds out the people who like really want it or who really are hungry for it. And then too, like you said, the giving what you didn't have, the way that you mentored me, and I'm sure anybody would echo this, that you mentored. I never knew that. I mean, you would never know by the way that you did it.
Man, but here's my thought, man. A good mentor learns as they're mentoring. Learn as you mentor. And mentorship is not one way. Everybody always thinks like, oh, I had this mentor and it's a one-way deal. I'm gaining all this stuff. Mentorship is two ways. Right. So if you're going to mentor somebody, you should be learning along the way. Nobody is perfect. Nobody has hit that point. Every day you should be striving to be better. Same with mentoring. You should be striving to be, and I think that's a big thing about Aries, man. One of the things about Aries is that we're always striving to be right. We're always striving to be perfect. We're always striving to be You know, it's one thing about me, man. You ain't gonna catch me sleeping. I'm gonna always be on stuff. We're gonna always be. I'm gonna know the fact. I'm gonna know how it's happened. You know, I'll argue you down, bro. I done done my work. I done put it in. I done done it. And so I think we mentioned you got to do your work, but you got to stay on top, bro. You know, I taught a class back at the community college a long time ago, and so it was something I wasn't real familiar with. But the head of the department she said, you know what, the students don't know this. She said, all you got to do is stay one chapter ahead of them in the book, and that stayed with me in life. And there's a lot of things people don't know. All you got to do is stay one chapter ahead of folks. That's what we do as Aries. We're always on that next chapter. We always trying to be on the next page, bro, because you ain't gonna catch us slipping.
That's true. Yeah, y'all have I would say Aries, and the only other sign I would say that comes close to y'all and drive is I would say probably Virgo. But I mean, if Aries set their mind to something, it's gonna happen. I mean, it's point blank, it's gonna happen.
It's going, and that's why it's funny, because you think of Aries, you think of the Aries, the ram. If you look at what rams do, rams have this. Rams have a tunnel vision.
Right.
Ram is the alpha male.
Yes.
So you look at a ram will run a pack, but a ram is always going to lead the pack. There's always going to be that ram. And the things about rams is that they butt heads.
Yep.
The crazy thing about a ram, two rams will butt heads, their horns a lot. And they will sit there until they ain't gonna let go.
Okay, so you bring up a good point. Okay, so two questions I want to ask you. So the first one is, how well do you get along with other Aries? And then also, do you think there's a difference between March and April Aries?
How well do I get along with other Aries? It's interesting because almost like in a race, I always, when I see another Aries, the thing I always think back is don't look back. Because when they tell you, if you're running a race and if you see yourself ahead of the pack, when you look back, the other person
throws you off.
And so when I'm with the other Aries, we get along well as long as we stay in our lanes.
Okay.
For me.
Okay.
I'm fine. Stay in your lane, brother. You stay in your lane, sister. And the other thing about it is it's easier for me to follow an Aries, too, because I know your way of thinking.
Yeah, you don't have to guess. You already know.
I know you're gonna be at the top of the class. I know you're gonna be leading the bunch. I know you're gonna be. I know you're stubborn. I know you're gonna do the work. So I'm on. It's easier for me to lead you. If what you say is what you get. It ain't no gray. It's either black or white. It ain't no lukewarm. You're gonna be hot or cold. Now I don't see a lot of difference between a March Aries and an April Aries. I think because I am like pretty much I'm right off of the beginning of the March Aries. Aries starts March 21st. I'm March 27th. I'm at the front end of Aries.
Right.
So I'm looking at the April Aries. They ain't really came in line. See what I'm saying?
My grandmother was a March Aries too. She was the 24th.
Your grandma bad. She bad. Yeah, it's funny, man, when I hear people whose birthdays around mine, I say, oh, that's a bad.
Hey, yeah, you already know.
I already know. I know what they're bringing to the table.
Yes.
Matter of fact, they bringing the table.
So right. They are the table. Right there.
I don't need no table. I got my own table, chair, silverware, and meal. So yes,
you ready?
I don't really see a big difference because I'm so on the front end of the spectrum when it comes to Aries.
Okay. So, and you kind of touched on this a little bit already, but I'm curious to know what your answer is. So, if you had to give a superpower of Aries, what would it be in your words, and why?
I think it's I was thinking about that. It's almost magical. It's Now you see me, now you don't. Now I see you, now I don't.
Oh, damn. Okay. So what does that mean?
Because I can cut you off. I can,
Oh,
I can,
yeah.
I can cut you off, and you can. And here's the thing: when I cut you off, it's because you're giving me the scissors. You know,
Yeah.
I can cut you off, and I can walk in a room, and I cannot see you. You could be in my face. I don't.
Yeah.
You're not even in my world. You're not in my view. Once it's done, it's done. So that superpower, I think, is the sense of you're not gonna see me. I ain't gonna fool with you. I'm not a fake nice person. If I don't like you,
yeah, you're gonna know.
You're gonna know. And I'm not gonna fool with you. I'm not gonna do the niceties. We're not gonna be all of that. I'm not gonna play. I'm just, you don't exist.
Right.
And so I think that superpower is to be able to, now you see me, now you don't. It's like hocus pocus. You switch me on.
Yeah, that's true. You know, the funny thing is, my mom and I laugh about it all the time because my grandmother, she was the type of person. I mean, if there was somebody in the room that you didn't want them to know that she didn't like them, the only thing that you could do was just not bring her.
Yep.
Because if she was in the room with him, she was gonna let him. I mean, she might not say anything to him, but her face was gonna let you know.
Face, interaction. I can walk up to a group and have a whole conversation and not even acknowledge you because you don't exist to me. You know, and I think that I think that's one of those kind of things that, because of the fact that I don't deal with foolishness. I don't deal with. I'm not gonna argue with you. I'm gonna state my point. You state your point. My point is usually, I'm not gonna say I'm always right, but it's gonna be hard for you to punch holes in my point.
Right.
And so I don't have time. I'm not gonna go back and forth with you. We're not gonna go through all of this. In relationship, I ain't going through all of it. Ain't gonna be no fussing, fighting, no hollering and screaming. It's bam. And so
it's what it is. Yeah.
It's what it is, you know. It's interesting because people will tell me, bro, I didn't even see you when you got here. Or they'll flip it and say,
I didn't see when you left.
I didn't see you leave. I'm like hocus pocus. And I the same thing with people. I can slip in, I can slip out.
Yeah, I can see that. And Shamika, thanks for watching, Shamika. You said might just be right on that. Yeah, it's definitely. So, okay, so I have a question for you. So, with that, would you say that holding a grudge is synonymous with what you just said? Or do you think that's two different things? Because to me, I think it's two different things. Because I cannot fool with somebody and not have a grudge against them.
Right. I agree. I think it's two different things.
Okay.
But what I have to be careful of is not holding a grudge, because I think that is something that is learned. I think holding grudges, my family is known for holding grudges. So I had to be very careful.
My mine is too.
And not doing that and not holding grudges. I had to really be, it's a daily thing, man. It's because I'm like, I'm not gonna do anything to you like that. I am very loyal. If I'm down with you, I am down. I don't fool with people who don't fool with you. We down.
Right.
But cut me, and most of the time when you cut me, you cutting me to the red meat, to the white meat. I ain't gonna fool with you. It's not like I got a grudge against you, but if you do something to me where I would have a grudge, I'm gonna hold it. And I'm gonna hold it like I'm gonna wear it like a bad leather jacket. I'm just saying. Bad leather jacket.
You still wearing that jacket in the summertime? Yep. It's still on.
With the tag still on. Because I'm gonna let you know how much it costs.
Right.
That's just the good. I'm gonna let you know how much it costs.
Yeah, no, and you know what? I'm to be honest with you, I'm kind of the same way. The only difference I would say is I have been in group settings with some people, and they so I might be with somebody and they may know, oh, I don't really fool with this person. Now I can have a very surface level conversation with somebody that I don't like, where from afar people might think, oh, you cool with them. And it's like, no, we're not. That's as far as it's gonna go.
bro. Business is business. Personal
That's it.
is personal.
That's it. Yeah.
This is a business thing. I'm not gonna ever embarrass you. I'm not gonna ever embarrass myself. I mean, that's just. I'm not gonna embarrass me.
Right. Right.
That's just me. I'm not gonna embarrass you. Now, will you know that there's no love? Oh, you will feel it like you feel you will feel it. There's no love. And if I'm down with somebody and you mess over them or you do something to them and they say, I'm not gonna be that, the next time you see me, I ain't gonna be rolling with you. We ain't I don't roll like that because I am my friends. If I call you my friend, you my friend. I am loyal. I'm damn loyal like a puppy. Like damn puppy.
Yeah.
Because
me too.
I believe in that, man. And so this whole thing about holding grudges and all of that, you have to really do something. You got to really push me to get me to that point.
Same.
I will cut you off before I will get mad at you.
Yeah. I am the same way. Yeah, I would totally agree with that. That's okay. Okay, that's interesting. So another question I have for you is, if you had to classify Aries as a drink, what would the drink be and why?
A shot of any liquor. No chaser. No
any liquor.
Straight shot.
Really?
It's a straight shot.
Yeah.
Because that's what you get. You're getting a straight shot. It ain't no, people say, oh, I would be a tequila sunrise. I'd be a Long Island tea. No, it's a straight shot. I'm a straight shot of Hennessy. I'm a straight shot of Amigos. It's a straight shot. What you see is what you get. But it burns when it go down.
Right.
That's for us. We may look sweet. We may look good, but it's going to burn going down. You're going to know you had a drink.
Yeah. Now that's one of the main things I can say I really respect about an Aries is I've never met one where I've had to guess where I stand or guess anything really about them. You're gonna know.
Yeah. And that's why I say, even with a shot, man, people say, oh, you want to take a shot? When I think of a shot, I'm thinking of a shot of straight alcohol. I'm not thinking like a kamikaze shot or a
right. A little mix drink type shot. Yeah.
People are like, that shot. No, I'm thinking of shot when they pour
straight
that
liquor.
Because that's what it is. It's avocado, Doc.
Yeah. That's what's up. Okay. Yeah. I can definitely see, and I'm kind of going through my mental Rolodex of all of the Aries I know, and that's accurate. It is very accurate.
And the shot will F you up.
Yeah.
If you ain't ready for it, if you ain't ready for a shot, somebody hit you a shot, it'll F you up from the inside out.
Right. You'd be like, why is first your chest get hot, then you'd be like, wait, why is my stomach bubbling?
Yeah, you thinking like, hey, that
right.
I mean,
you start sweating.
Stuff start coming at your pores.
Right.
That's you drink, man. I believe for me.
I love that. Okay, that's dope. All right, so this is another question I always ask people, so I'm curious to know your answer on this. If there is one sign that you would say you run from, which sign would that be and why?
I think Gemini. Because
Gemini
you never know what you're gonna get. You run one way, that one face is there. You run the other way, another face. Hey, you can't get away from a Gemini. You don't know what you're gonna get. I love my mama to death. God rest her soul, but she was a Gemini. I didn't know
she
what
was.
Oh yeah, she's a May Gemini. So I Geminis for me. I don't know. It's just everybody said that two-faced. I don't think it's a two-faced. I
I don't think so either.
I think it is. It's a multiple complexity, the multiple complexity of the Gemini. I don't know what I'm gonna get one day. Everybody always talk about running from Aries. Aries get a bad rap. I run from a Gemini.
Really? So you think Aries gets a bad rap?
Oh yeah, Aries. everybody. There's a cat on Instagram. And he's always the top 3 signs you want to stay from. They'll break your heart. They'll take your life and step on it. And the first thing they holler is Aries. I'm like, who done messed up your life, bro?
Right.
You know?
And see, that's the thing. I feel like a lot of times when people make statements like that, it's usually one person that kind of screwed them over, and that person is the poster child for the whole sign.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think part of most Aries, and I feel it now, man, is I think people have a hard time, or people struggle with the passion. And that fire sign is that passion is strong.
Yeah.
And a lot of times, it's like, why you so aggressive? Why you so
right? You're just passionate. Yeah.
I am. If there's something that I am, if there's a person that I am just really into, I'm just passionate about, that you are going to know. And that's what that fire does. People don't understand what fire do. You talk about elements. One of the things that fire does, fire purifies. It's a purifying. And fire technically would take negative to turn positive. It turns negative into positive because it burns away all of that excess stuff.
Yeah.
To get it back to the natural.
Yeah, that's true.
So a lot of folks don't want to fool with the fire. I'm just saying.
Hey, that's true. Now, the only thing I thankfully I have never experienced this. I've only witnessed it being done to other people. But I know a lot of people will say that Aries has a quick temper, and I think that to me, it's not so much that Aries has a quick temper. I think it's more so. It kind of goes back to that straight shot analogy that you mentioned. Aries doesn't really have as much of a filter as other signs might have. So because the filter is gone, whereas maybe it might take another sign, 4 steps to pop off.
Right.
Aries, it might only be 2.
Yeah. But,
it might even be 1, depending on.
What? It's interesting you say that because Aries. One of the things that I learned about this Aries is that when I'm all in, I'm all in. And people tend to think like, some people like, well, I feel this kind of way about you. Well, maybe I when I'm in, I'm all in. And so if we having this conversation and I'm telling you I'm all in, then you start playing with me. That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because once I'm invested, one of my favorite songs is "Through the Fire" by
Shaka Khan.
Shaka Khan.
Oh yeah, I love that song too. Yeah.
He talks about that to the limit.
And she's an Aries.
With you, I will risk it all.
Yeah.
That when somebody says I will risk it all for you,
that's a lot.
And you playing with me.
Right. That's how folks end up on Snap.
It ought to be called Aries edition of Snap now.
Right.
Think about us, man, where they say, bro, your temper, and I don't think I have a temper. It takes
I don't think you do.
Once you poke the bear, don't play like they say, don't play with the monkeys in the zoo. Don't play with the animals.
Yeah.
Don't poke the bear.
Yeah.
You got a bear, you know what you got. You poke it, you're gonna see. Poke used to say, they say, all right, man. Because it's funny because people tend to think, because I'm a larger person, they tend to think, they say, man, you angry, your voice escalated and all that. And I said, bro, that's excitement, that's passion. Be afraid when I don't say anything.
When you get quiet. Yeah.
Quiet.
Yeah.
Because when I'm quiet, I'm thinking about, I'm gonna get you, I'm gonna cut you so, I'm gonna get you so you ain't gonna even know you got. Bro, that video, your promo.
Oh yeah.
Who you talking about? I'm gonna get got. Bro, this mine.
This Aries, yeah.
You know, we used to think about I could cut you with a blade so quick, and I'd be home by the time you bleed. You won't even know you've been cut, and you would have bled out. You won't even know it.
He's like, where this come from? Right.
You be like, you wake up, be like, I'm dead. You know,
right? What happened,
bro? But you know, it's just one of those things that, I think sometimes that's a fault. That's a downside of ours.
Really? What the passion, or
I think the passion, because sometimes if you're not emotionally intelligent enough to handle it, it gets out of hand.
Well, you know, and I always say this too. I feel like because I'm one of those slow burners to anger, and and I think that may even be an Aquarius thing. I don't know, because I feel like a lot of them are like that. But what I always say is people never ask what brought you to the blow up. People always want to know about the blow up, and they want to say, oh, well, you did this and you did that. But it's like, yeah, I did, but let's talk about what happened to get me here.
Right. Let me tell you, man, it's a show I like to watch, man. And I watch a lot of shows like Cold Case.
Oh yeah, I love those too.
I like those types of shows, because what it does, it shows you like the person dead, or it shows you or like the person missing, and then it takes you back to what happened.
Yeah,
how they got there. And I like to watch, because in my mind, when I first see it, I've already figured out, like, oh, so and so killed him. But then when I go back, when they start showing all the different situations, like you said, then it kind of makes sense of how they got there. And I think people tend, and I think that's just a human nature thing, man. We tend not to want to know the how. We just automatically want to know, well, you know, the what. Happened?
Yeah.
You know, why you shooting, why you did. So that's a human nature thing, man.
Yeah, I agree. And so do you think that, because I know Aries also has the stereotype sometimes of being workaholics. And I know you say you always working, and I know you mentioned too recently retiring, which for me, when I see you on social media and when I talk to you, it doesn't feel like you've retired to me, because you just, I mean, other than, I mean, I see you traveling and stuff like that, but I feel like you did that when you worked too. So do you feel that you being an Aries maybe was a driver, or has been a driver in not only your success, but just that idea to like, okay, keep going, next thing.
I think so, man. I think because of just that mindset of, you know, as I talked about earlier, about legacy, about creating things, you know, creating opportunity, creating things for other people, creating things for myself. I saw a meme and it said, you know, I get something to the effect that I'm paraphrasing. You know, I get tired of, you know, nobody ever helps me do things, and then the next thing is, but they don't know how to do it like I do. You know, and I know how I like things done. So again, that's the thing about, you know, it's like, well, just give it here. Let me do it.
Right. Because you're not going to do it the way I would do it.
But I do it the way it needs to be done. And so when I see things, and you know, I'm seeing things like, it doesn't need to be, you know, doesn't need to be like this. I'm kind of like, move out the way. This is what needs to happen. This is what's going to make it move forward. This is what's going to make it be prosperous. You know, and I share, man. I'm transparent, man. I submitted an application to be a part of this group. It was something that I always really wanted to be a part of, and I was like, oh yeah, I put all my accolades down, and you know, I do this, the other, man. And so I didn't hear from him, and I you know, I reached out to him, and so I got a letter saying, you know, we didn't accept you. And I'm like going like, bro, y'all need me for real.
Right.
I had to have a come to Jesus meeting with myself, because my next thing was in my head, the Aries store, the true Aries store kicking. And I was just like, I can take y'all where y'all need to be. You know, and that's not in a bad sense. but I had to check self to make sure why I wanted to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
So but I had that mindset of really, I know where it can do. I see the potential. I see where this can go. And I share that with people, man. Sometimes I think we get, fixated on things and we want to make these things happen. And I know we do. We had this drive, bro. And so the thing sometimes you have to say, is it for you or is it for them?
Mm-hmm.
And I think some of that, as you were talking about Aries, about being on the go, I always am thinking about how to improve. So, and I think some of it is I'm a maximizer. When you do the strength quest, that's one of my strengths. I'm always looking at, I can do that. I can do that better. This could be,
Yeah.
Because we are, I think Aries are more doers.
Yeah. Y'all are,
We're we are more doers. We're always, like I said, get it. Just go.
Right. Yeah, y'all don't do much, which is, I think, a power. So that would be another superpower of y'all's too. I think, because I don't think, and maybe you do. Correct me if I'm wrong, but you don't do a lot of. You know how like some people do a lot of deliberating in their head before they make a decision. I feel like Aries, y'all might kind of think about it a little bit, and then it's like go,
boom.
But 9 times out of 10, when you go like that, it's gonna be right. So I mean, so I in group settings, I tend to trust people like that. Trust because I'm the it depends, or I look at situations sometimes like a Rubik's cube, and I make myself sick doing that.
Right.
And sometimes I do end up making the right decision, but the process it took for me to get there, it's like, well, damn, I could have shaved off all this time. So sometimes I think that Aries personality is needed, because there are certain situations where it's like, okay, make decision, let's go.
I think sometimes we have to, and I agree, because I hate it. I hate for people to say, well, what you want to do? Well, what you want to
do? Right.
Driving me crazy. But I also had to think, you had to really, again, it goes back to your emotional intelligence in the sense of, you had to say, be careful not to alienate yourself.
Yeah.
And become almost like the dictator. We're gonna do this and we're gonna do this and I'm gonna do, and so it's good to, I always know what I'm gonna do. I was never one that, I think peer pressure, people talk about peer pressure, and it, again, we live in a whole different time now. When I was coming up, man, peer pressure was, it was a lot different. But I never succumbed, because I was just like, that's just,
yeah, you've always been your own person.
It's just stupid to me. I mean, like, I'll follow you in the hole, and I see you going in the hole. My mom used to always tell us, you ain't got to have no. Look at all them knots on your brother. I'm the youngest of 5. Look at the knots on their head. You don't have to have the same.
Do what they did, right?
All you got the knot on one side right here. What does that mean? You banging your head. You don't got to have the same knot.
Yeah.
And just, and I think part of that in the decision making and the leadership and that piece. I mean, you watch how Rams work. It's that sense of, I know what I want. I put my mind to it. If I think too long about something, I won't do it at all. I think about things that and an Aries thing is almost like impulsive.
Yes.
It's like, oh, I'm gonna go to grad school tomorrow, and it just works out.
Yeah, you just do it. Yeah, and I can appreciate that, because again, like I have impulsive moments, but they're usually kind of few and far between. Like for the most part, if I'm doing something, I've already thought about it, days, weeks, months sometimes. But I'm learning. That's one of my goals too, is to be more impulsive and live more in the moment without, oh, well, this could happen, or this could happen, or what about this, or what about that.
But it's interesting, man. I've always bought into this mindset of study long, study wrong. And that came from, man, playing cards.
Well, yeah, that's true. Yeah.
You know, and so that just kind of factored over into life for me.
Mm-hmm.
But I think one of the things that people don't realize about Aries, I think, and I don't generalize, I see a lot of Aries males, you know, is that we find ourselves often alone.
Mm. Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because people maybe have a hard time dealing with everything that comes with an Aries, or maybe you don't want to put up with certain things
I
because
think
of
I think it's some of that. I think it's some of
okay.
the high you know, people say high standards,
Mm-hmm.
high,
Mm-hmm.
you know, the high expectation. My therapist told me once. I had a therapist. He told me. He said, bro. He said, man, I'm gonna tell you this. He said, you have very high expectations of people. He said, now here's the bad part about that. You don't share that with the people.
Mm.
Yes, and he said, and it's
Ah,
shared to the people.
because
So
they don't know. Mm-hmm.
you get upset when they don't meet, you know, your expectation, but they don't even know. They don't even know that the expectation was there. And so this whole thing about
Mm-hmm.
how much time we really spend in our own head, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because we had this high standard, this high expectation people. It's almost like, well, this is how I wouldn't do you like this. So I don't believe you do, you know, how you gonna do
Oh,
me like that?
and let me tell you, I don't know if because I'm not. This show is kind of general, so I don't get like too into the weeds. So I don't what I'm about to say. I don't know if maybe I have a little bit of Aries in my chart somewhere because I struggle with that same thing to this day. Like I would say, just within the last like year or two, I've gotten better at letting people know the expectations I have of them.
Yeah.
Because in my head, I'd be like, okay, well, especially if it's somebody that's known me for years and we have a relationship, you know me, you know what I like, you know what I dislike.
Right.
So I shouldn't have to tell you, but in some cases, you do have to tell the person, like, hey, you know, this is what it is.
This would it, and I think that in the sense of being the ones that will always that doesn't have a problem stepping up, doesn't
Yeah.
have a problem
Mhm.
leading, don't have a problem making a decision. And you get into this and you start doing this, and it is exhausting. And so there comes a point to where you just don't have the energy to deal with people.
Mhm. Mhm.
You know, so when I say that you often find themselves alone, it's because you're trying to recoup so much because that
Yeah.
you've given so much, man.
Right. Right.
You know,
Yeah.
and so what I am learning is in that is that if you don't give yourself to yourself and fill your own cup, that you're empty trying to pour into somebody else's cup.
Yeah. Yeah. And you
Your
can't do it. Yeah.
last drop out of you like Folgers, man. I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying, man?
Right.
Folgers in your cup, but they'll do that and just get all of that out
Mhm.
of the cup.
And then look at you crazy, like, why are you drained? Why are you tired? Like, what you tired for? Yeah.
And so I think that's, you know, I I I I love being an Aries male. I love being
Mhm.
I do the work. You know, I learned about Aries. I love it, man. But I also have learned the downsides and to what that means about you, about you know grudges, about you know
Mhm.
trying to be almost a people pleaser, trying to be everything to everybody, you know, trying to take care of everything, make sure everything, and
Right.
some that just weighs, you know, that weighs on you, man. And so I think that also sometimes causes that short temper as well.
Oh, right. Because you have so much on your plate.
You got so much, man.
Mhm. Yeah, I can see that. And Renette is tuning in. Hey, what's up, Renette? She
Hey,
was a
Renee,
guest
what's going on?
earlier this season on the show. She's a Scorpio. So she
All right,
says, good evening, Carlos and guest.
all
Good
right,
evening,
Renee.
Renette. Hey, and oh, and so with that though, what you just mentioned. So, what do you do to recharge yourself? Is it a certain? Because I know some people they're like, okay, well, I got to go out of town. I got to go on a trip. Some people, they're fine being at home, or they want to go to a restaurant, or is it a combination of things, or what do you do to recharge?
I think, man, I have found that I've since COVID, I'm really a homebody. I've become more of a home. I just chill, man. I just try to shut down.
Okay.
And that means shutting down means social media. That means, the phone. That means just not giving any extra energy to stuff that doesn't make any sense, man. Like everything that's going on politically, I'm politically astute, but sometimes I have to say, I ain't in the White House. I can't control this.
Right. Because it's so easy to, well, this is today, this is a new thing, and that's a new thing. And then it is also, I feel like when you follow it too much, sometimes you get a little bit of the wrong information because now everybody's trying to present it first.
Right.
And in doing that, sometimes they presented the wrong stuff, and then they have to go back and say, "Oh, well, no, it really wasn't that. It was this." And
man, I binge watch, man. I am, like I say, those shows. I read a little bit, man.
Okay.
I just try to protect me from bad energy, and that's people. I mean, sometimes we think like, oh, I travel, but typically we travel with a group. It's always an energy in them, and there's some people that I've had to tell, don't call me no more, because let me tell you why. Because every time you call me, you want something. Every time you call me, you want something. It ain't how you doing. It ain't, and so now I know when you call it, my answer to the phone now, hey man, what's going on? Is what you want.
Yeah, you already know.
You need something. So I start taking them people out of my phone. So if I don't recognize your number, I ain't gonna answer. So that helps me.
Okay. So how do those? So walk me through that. So how do those conversations go? Is it just kind of like, hey, and then you say it and you're done, and then there's no rebuttal, or is it different with different people? Or
well, I'm gonna be a little honest with you, man. Sometimes they don't even know they've been taken out. Like, man, I've been trying to catch you.
All right, well, yeah.
I'm trying to catch you, and then my response is, man, I'll be trying to catch me too, man. I mean, I'm not gonna go into this whole explanation about why. If every time you call me, you want or need something.
Yeah.
I cannot deal with that.
Ooh.
I gotta cut it off.
Yeah. No, and I think that's real because like you said, people will continue to drain you to the last drop if you let them.
Right.
They'll continue to do that. So no, that makes sense. And wait, we got Renette. She giving a testimony here. She says, LOL, all I know is Aries is the only man I dated in which I had arrested because of his antics. To be clear, it wasn't violence. Okay. Well,
remember what I said about earlier about when I say if I'm all in, I'm all in.
Oh, yeah.
That all in is like, if I'm gonna cut off everything for you, that means you're gonna be with me. And that's
right.
Not, and I'm not advocating for that. I'm not condoning that.
Right. But it's
a mindset, because it's
you
like
expect that back.
Everything, and that's where again it comes back to emotional intelligence. One of the best things to do to charge, and I tell anybody this, Aries, Marys, Carries, anybody, if you are not in some kind of therapy or have some therapist, because God created therapy. Everybody says, "Oh, go pray about it." You're gonna go pray about it, and you're gonna hit somebody upside the head, then you ain't done nothing. But at least you need someone that you can help you process why it is that you feel that way. In a lot of cases, typically it's abandonment, and it could have been a parent, it could have been a sibling, it could have been somebody that a person was in love with. Abandonment sometimes will cause a person to go to that level of, I'm not going to let you go. That's why I say, for me, I'm one kind of person. I'll cut you off before I let you get me like that.
Yeah, until you right before you get to that point. Yeah, I agree. I agree.
Orange ain't my new black.
That ain't your new black.
I'm and I
love that show.
I can't be sagging. I just, that ain't just my
yeah. Hey. Yeah, but no, I'm with you on that. I'm kind of the same way too. Like if I feel a vibe going a certain way, and if I'm really invested in the person, a lot of times I'll remove myself from the situation because I know if I stick around, this ain't gonna end well for either one of us, you know. But that therapy comment that you mentioned is interesting too, because I just started doing therapy I say about a year and a half ago. And the interesting thing about it was I just was like, you know, you hear it so much now. It's almost kind of like a buzzword. So I was like, okay, let me give it a try. And I think the stigma is you have to have something really traumatic to do it. And I mean, I had some things that weren't great that were going on, but I'm so glad that I started when I did, because as the time progressed and traumatic things would come up, then I had a tool set that it was like, oh, okay, I can pull this out because I kind of remember what I should do in this situation. So it made those events less traumatic, if that makes sense.
And I think you bring up a point, Love. I think, honestly, I think you have to go to therapy wanting to be better, not because it's the thing to do.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's the thing. Yes. That's the thing, the piece about that. Folk, like you were saying, I think therapy has become the new buzzword, the new in vogue thing.
Yes.
I go to therapy, my therapist. But if you're not going there to personally get better, you won't get better. That's like if you go to the doctor and you lying to the doctor.
I'm eating my vegetables. I'm doing this. I'm working out. Right.
You ain't gonna get better. You can't lie to the doctor.
Right.
When you die, the doctor say, I tried to tell you, you told me you was fine. I told you wasn't. So you gotta go wanting to get and be better.
That's true.
And that's for any sign, man. I think you know, I love the things that are signs, and when we're born and now that kind of shapes who we are. But I think the thing that we all have in common is that we need to be able to, be in those sessions where we're wanting to be a better person.
Yes.
Who happens to be this side of that.
Yes. That's it. And you hit it on the head, because that's what I want people to get from this show too, because it's, I enjoy the dialogue about the quirks and things of the different signs, but it's like, yes, this may give you information on how to deal with that person because their sign, but it's almost kind of like you have to be bigger than your sign, or you have to not use that as a crutch, because some people will say, like, so for me, for instance, a lot of people say Aquarius is emotionally detached. So if I wanted to, I could really lean into that and say, I'm gonna turn my emotions off, because that's what they say we are anyway.
Right.
Which I feel like a lot of people do.
Right. And people will use their trauma to justify their action.
Yes. Oh, well, because I've been through this and that.
Right. So like with this, so in the words of Jennifer Holiday, I ain't going nowhere. And
right.
But that doesn't justify you not wanting to move on. That doesn't justify it. And so we lock into these signs, and we lock into them. And sometimes we turn into what the signs say we are.
Yes.
And we abandon who we really are. We become who the astrologer said based on when you're born, or like you got all these different folk. The Chinese say, depending upon your year, you can be a a dog, a horse, the astrologer say the hell I know why you don't know who you are. But if you know whose you are, it ain't gonna matter if you are air, fire, or water.
Yeah, that's true. That's it.
Period.
Yeah, that's it. Yes. I totally agree.
So have fun with it, learn from it, but don't let it define who you are, and use it to justify what you do.
Yeah. Yes, it's so. I agree. And Burnett. So when she left another comment, she says, "Yes, something along those lines. I was ready to move on, and he wasn't. So I guess the attachment of wanting to hold on.
Yep, and that's the thing, man. There's some other emotional things that may not be attached to being an Aries. It's just
it just
has some emotions to
that person. Yeah,
during that time.
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, I love that you said that, and I think that's I always love when those kind of reminders can kind of come up organically, because that's something I say a lot on the show. Because I wasn't. It really just kind of just happened, and I've mentioned this a couple of times on the show before. But I was on another podcast, Brown Liquor Cigars, and one of the episodes we talked about conflict, and especially if you're in a relationship, and how many days or how long would you need to maybe cool off. And I messed around and said I might need 5 days, because I'm a very it depends type of person, because depending on the severity of what's done, that might determine my reaction.
Right.
So when I said 5 days, it was like all hell broke loose. And I was the nice guy on the show. So like, I didn't really get a lot of the hate comments and stuff like that, because most stuff that I said it happened to be middle of the road. And it wasn't like I was trying to play to that, but that's just really how I feel. Like I can see things from a lot of sides, even if I don't agree with it. Like I can make sense of it. And I got so many messages from people, and they're like, "Oh, that's crazy, and that's why you're probably not going to be in a long-term relationship, because yada yada." And I was like, "Whoa, okay." It just really opened up my eyes. And then I was on TikTok one day, and I saw this lady talking about she loves Aquarius men, but she said the only fault that she feels like they have is emotional distance, or like the emotional numbness, I guess, if you will. And so I was like, well, damn, okay, maybe there's something to this. And so that's kind of what gave me the idea for the show. But even in doing that, it really was to just find out, okay, what are everybody's quirks for their sign, but not leaning on that and not using that as an excuse.
Yeah, I like that, man. And back to that, man, again, I'm old school, man. And I've always heard, when people say, I keep attracting the same kind of person, I'm always seem like I'm attracted to Pisces, or I'm always attracted. And old folks say, if you keep fishing in a catfish pond looking for bass, you ain't gonna find no bass. Bass don't swim where catfish are. Yeah. You got to go in. So quit looking at the sign and look at the man or the woman, the individual. You say you're attracted to that, but there's something about what do they give off? Yeah. And so this whole thing about the so and so man, that just, to me, just meet the man, meet the woman, meet the person. Yeah. And then get into their sign. Don't jump first thing you meet them. What's your sign?
Right. And they're like, oh, I'm done.
You don't even know my last name.
Right. Check, please. I'm done.
So I have appreciated the conversation, because this is helpful, man. And I think as long as you do continue to do things like this show, man, I applaud you for doing this, and
thank you
for creating this platform and this opportunity for people to just learn about each other as people. Yes. But just to explore all of this, man, that says a lot. That's a need, man. And so I know you said you got some other stuff coming up, but I encourage you to keep doing this and keep bringing different kinds of people on and let folks see all the stuff that goes into people and not just see them as a sign.
Right. Exactly. Yes. Okay. But I do want to before wait, I see Renee got another comment. And then what she say? Let's see. Okay, she says, I had an Aries female friend who wanted to control and define our friendship. I should have had her arrested too. Roll on the floor laughing.
Yeah, I need you to just write the book. And
right, and I need to read it.
Right, and where you finding these friends at? Because I don't need to visit there. Like you say, maybe ours.
Right. Hey, yeah, let us know so we don't end up on Snap. No.
Right.
Right.
The control. Go ahead, bro.
No, you good. No, I was just I didn't want us to end without asking or diving into this too about your LLC.
Yes.
Greg, training and consulting. So what was the idea behind it, or like how did the idea start for you to start? Because I know you know too, like that LLC process is, I didn't realize how like taxing it can be. So it's not just, I mean, just for people who are watching it and listening, it's not just like, oh, I want to wake up and start an LLC. You know, it's a lot of work into it.
And let me tell you, Los, I wish I could say that I was the one who did all of that work. In my impulsiveness, that's the word. So I was doing a lot of training in diversity, equity, inclusion, and working with leadership and all of those different areas. And so when I was, people would just ask me things like, hey, can you come and do this for my group? Or, you know, I got this diversity issue at work. I need some help. Mm-hmm. So one day my friend said, bruh, stop giving away this stuff for free. Monetize your gifts. Mm-hmm. And for 2023, that was my mantra. Monetize your gifts. Wow. Make money on the things that you're good at. And so in doing that, I said, well, I guess I better do it as a business. So I go online. I asked a friend, I said, how do you do an LLC? He said, oh, just go online, go to this website. So I'm on the website. I filled out the paperwork, paid the money, and came back and they denied it. And I looked at it and they denied it because I forgot to put LLC under the name. Submitted the paperwork again, submitted the paperwork, and they said, you have an LLC. I didn't know the first thing about having an LLC.
I didn't either until recently.
God covers being impulsive. And so just learning. So the business came before the business.
Yeah, but because of who you are, the business is gonna come. I mean, the business came. Right. You know, it's
Right. So that wasn't a problem. Now I'm making it to where it is legit, where I got an EIN number and I, taxes and do all that. And now I'm the business person. But I tell people it's not as hard as it seems. It's just understanding how to run a business. That's the hard part.
That's true.
The LLC, getting the LLC, it's filling out some paperwork, paying the money, coming up with a name that nobody else has, making sure all the I's are dotted, T's are crossed, submit the paperwork. You can get the LLC. The hard part is running the business and making sure the business is set up.
Right. That's true. And Renee says, awesome, monetize your gifts. So true. Yeah. Hey, I'm about to, I know you said that was your 2023 mantra, but I might carry that into 2024. That's a thing.
And that's the thing. We are so creative. We are a creative people. We have so many talents and gifts that we give away for free. Mm-hmm. And just take it and that's anything from braiding hair to giving advice about stuff that you know. Now, don't just give advice about the weather and you ain't no meteorologist.
Right. I think it's gonna snow.
Like, what? So it's gonna snow. But if you know that you have a gift, if you have, like your books, monetize your gift. I would not do a workshop for free anymore, whether
Right.
it's virtual or in
Mm-hmm.
person. Start doing some workshops. People will pay for the knowledge that you have.
Mm-hmm.
So monetize your gifts. Sit down. If you don't know what your gifts are, sit down and write down the things that you're good at and write down the things that you're passionate about. And somewhere in there'll be something that will intersect. Because it can't be everything you're good at. It can't be everything you're passionate about. It has to be a combination.
Yes. I'm with you on that. I totally agree. And the thing that I feel like too, how I recognize stuff like that in myself is even though I want to monetize it, and like you said, and we should, so definitely don't want to do it for free. But that thing that I'm passionate about that I could do for free and be okay with it because I am so passionate about it. And so, like, even I tell people, because some people say, well, how do you start a podcast? And I'm like, you just I'm in my apartment. I got the little webcam on here that I bought, and I got a microphone that I paid a decent amount of money for, and just started recording, and I do it like after I get done with work.
Right.
So it's amazing. It never fails every time. I'll be so tired when I get done with work, but the days that I do my podcast, I always get a second win because I love doing it. I look forward to it. I enjoy it.
Right. And it's interesting because I hear people say a lot that are working full time and they want to do something else. And they're like, but I do this, but I really want to be a film director. So I don't know how I'm gonna do it. Let your full time pay you.
That's it. Yep.
To do your passion time until your passion time pay you to do your full time work.
Yeah, that is totally, you hit on the head. That's totally my mindset. That's how I think of it. Yeah.
We want to we passionate about something and we got a little bit going on in this area. We want to quit the full-time job and focus on you laying on somebody else's couch.
And they spare room. That they use sparingly.
Don't give up your day job that's paying you to do that. But you have to realize that the work starts after work.
Yes.
Until the after work pays till you can flip it.
Yes.
And once you can flip it, it's on you then.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, I ain't on this year for nothing, man. But again, going back to those knots on your head, I have learned, man, from other people. I watch people who do what I want to do. I watch them. I talk to other folk who are speakers, who are consultants, who are motivational speakers. And I ask them, what do you do? How do you do that? How do you gauge your time? How do you pick your, I have conversations with them. I'm not, there's no shame in my game.
Yeah.
And when people
that's smart to me.
The more you give back, God will give to you. And so I ask them, hey, can you send me when I first started, I didn't know how to charge people. And then I said, well, people are not going to pay this. And so I had a brother tell me, he said, if you got it, they'll pay it. If you can bring it, they'll pay it. And you don't realize your word of mouth or word of mouth. I have no marketing. People are calling me based on social media, what I'm putting on social media. And again, it goes back what you're putting out there. And so I start believing him. People will pay. And then I got to where I started saying, well, hey, if you're not going to pay this, maybe I'm not the person for you, because I'm not going to go down in my fees because I have I know what I can do. I know what my product is. So let me help guide you. And I've said to the people, and they said, well, maybe you're all right. And they paid me my due. But when they pay me my due, they're going to get 110%. I'm not on nothing.
Right. And I think it's,
I want them to go tell 10 people.
Yeah, exactly. And to me, that's the best I know you said you're not doing the marketing, but to me, that is the best kind,
Yeah.
the word of mouth, because I mean, you never know how that's going to, or who's going to tell who, how people are going to find out, things like that. And I think it's commendable too that you're even doing that, because I think so many times what happens is people do really have a skill set or something that they're amazing at, and they want to hoard it.
Right.
And that's, I don't understand that, because to me, it's like, I kind of think of it as like gumbo. I love gumbo, and I've eaten it from a ton of like really great cooks, but nobody's gumbo is going to taste the same.
Right.
So nobody can beat you being you. Even if you give them all the secrets, all the sauce, everything.
And that's a word right there, man. People say, I give you, they're like, hey man, I took something from you. That's a compliment to me, because guess what?
Yeah,
it ain't gonna be the same.
Right. Right.
And I never talk about anything that I don't know about. I would never get up in front of a group of people and talk about being a rocket scientist, because I don't know about that. And if somebody asks me, I can't. That's not in my wheel set. But what? I bet I have something that you need.
Yes.
It's a resource. It may be something else that you're doing. And so, I share it, and I say, man, as a kid, I grew up, I had a lisp. And so I went to speech therapy for years, and I never thought that I would be the kind of person that would speak in front of people.
Wow. And you can't even tell now.
Never.
You would never know.
I had somebody who invested in me. So going back to what you talked about, mentoring, somebody who invested in me. And mentoring is we talk about mentoring, we talk about sponsorship, and we talk about all of this, but a lot of times a mentor sees more in you than you can ever see in yourself. And a good mentor will push you to that level.
That's so true. Yeah. I agree. And then Renee says, yes, people pay for what they want or need. Yes,
exactly.
That is true.
All day long. And so even in your sign, if your sign says you're this kind of person or that kind of person, if you are not a people person, if you're not somebody that can communicate with people and have a conversation with people, speaking may not be your thing.
Yep.
Find what your passion is. Find, take the time to do it. We tend not to. We see what other people are doing, and we think I'm gonna do one podcast, and next thing you know, I'm gonna be the man, the Carlos King man, to do the Real House.
Oh, right. And that that may, who knows, that may happen. But I think people go into it for the wrong reasons, and they think, oh, it's gonna happen immediately.
But it's not easy,
Yeah.
I tell people all the time, favor ain't fair, but favor ain't easy.
Yeah.
People, favor ain't fair. Favor ain't fair. But favor ain't easy.
Yeah.
Because you got to maintain the favor that you have.
Yeah. It's funny that you mentioned that, because I was just talking to somebody about that the other day, and I was saying some things I don't want the quick fix because of what you just said. I would rather ramp up slow, because like you just said, if you get this overnight success in anything, it's nowhere to go but down from that point, because if you already starting out at the peak, it's only so long you're going to be able to maintain that.
But you have to know how to define success for yourself.
Yes, that's true. And it's not tangible things all the time.
Yeah. Your success is oftentimes not going to look like somebody else's. What does success look like for you? And part of that is defining what success is for you. And I think that goes back to anything that you do. You have to set some things for yourself to say, well, this is what success looks like for me. Y'all might not understand it, but for me, and that's why I've learned to ask folks, what does success look like for you? So that's the best way for me to help you, because it's easy. Because typically in this world we live in now, we put our definition on success on others.
Yes, it's like, oh, you must be or not be successful based off of what I think it is.
Right. And I was asking, what is success for you? And sometimes your thing maybe success is getting out of the bed.
Hey, Yeah, and some days that might be.
And
Yeah.
so we clap it up. We celebrate their success because the next thing may be getting out the house. So,
Mhm.
you
Yeah.
build up to it.
Hey, I love it. I love it. Okay. Okay. Well, before I can't believe like over an hour has already gone by. This has been great. But I feel like this is our regular conversations, but just on camera.
Yeah,
Because I
hey,
feel like
I
we
tell
always have good
it's
conversations.
easy, bro. It's easy to do, man. It really is. And the water, everything that you brought to this, man, and you bring to this, you're good at what you do because you
Oh,
help
thank you.
people bring out what they need to say.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you. Well,
Yes, sir.
yeah. So before we get out of here, there is a game I play with
Okay.
everybody, and it's called Dead in the Water.
Okay.
And it's 5 question this or that. So I try to tailor it to the guest too. So like some of the questions are kind of general, but then some of them are based on the guest. And so instead of telling me the thing that you like the best, you'll tell me the one that you like the least or the one that you would throw back in the water.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Let's go.
Hey. All right. All right. So we will get started here. Let me get the music going. And all right. So first question, which is so funny because you kind of
I can't hear you.
oh, you can or can't?
There you go. There you go now.
Oh, okay, okay.
Oh,
No, I'm just gonna say tequila or bourbon.
no bourbon in the water.
Okay, okay.
Yeah,
I kind of thought you were gonna say that, but I wasn't exactly sure. Okay, throw bourbon in the water. All right, all right. Okay, so the next one, OJ's or the Gap Band.
Man, the gospel according to the OJ. So throw the Gap Band in the water, man.
Hey, throw them away. Okay, all right. Tabasco or Louisiana hot sauce? Which
No
one you throwing away?
Tabasco in the water. Louisiana all day long, man.
Okay, okay. I'm with you. I'm with you. Bow tie or necktie?
I'm saying necktie dead to the water. I'm still a bow tie brother, but I
Okay, yeah, yeah. I mean,
necktie,
you have a lot of nice bow ties and neckties, so I didn't know which one you were gonna say.
bow tie, baby.
Okay, all right. Keeping that one.
Woo.
And last one, okay, maracas or
Yeah.
cymbals. This one is kind of more of an inside joke, but
Ain't nobody shaking no maracas like you, boy. So I think dead to the water, boy. If you ever quit your day job, you need if Andre 3000 can put out a whole thing.
hey, that could be a thing. I could be one of his instrumentals.
You need to put out a maraca instrumental and call it shake your groove like.
No vocals, just
No
just
vocals.
cha, 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 cha.
No.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Hey, that's what's up. That's what's up. Okay.
Yeah.
So, hey, we have come to the end of the show. Oh, one quick announcement that I told y'all I promised I was going to be doing. So, I am doing something called the 11 days of Dripmas. So, what it is, it's going to start tomorrow. And you have to be on the channel well, I'll be posting the stories all over social media, but the way that you win this is you'll have to give your answer on the short that I post on the YouTube channel for the Water Bear podcast. So how it's going to work is I'll be giving away 11 things over the next 11 days starting tomorrow, and it's going to go all the way through Christmas Eve. So it's going to be like books and candles. It's going to be like different things. So I won't say everything, but it's going to be some things I'll be giving away. And the answers to the questions are going to be based on the podcast episodes. So I'm going to go through each episode this season. So I'm going to see who really been watching. And so the first person to give me the correct answer for whatever the question is, they'll get the gift.
11 days of drip. Man, that's creative, Doc.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
I like that, man. You came up with that in your head.
I did. I know. Like, this is how most of my stuff comes to me. I'll be in the bed. I'm not even thinking about the podcast, and it usually is like real late at night. I'll wake up And no lie, last night I was like Dripmish, because I had another name for it. And I was like, Dripmish. I was like, okay. Went back to sleep. Woke up this morning. And when I was in the gym, that's when it hit me. 11 days of Dripmish. I was like, oh, that's what I'm gonna call it.
That's dope, man. I like
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, wait, Renee said, what Carlos shaking maracas? Yeah, it was a time. Let me just say, I'm glad social media wasn't out then, because I feel like it might have been some pictures of that posted.
You're going to the top, man. Straight to the top, man. You the kid.
Right.
Andre 3000 would have been out. Those $9.95.
Yeah, that's right. Right. And Renee says 11 days of Dripmish sounds fun. So thanks, Renee. I appreciate it. But yes. But thank you again, Arthur, for joining me. This was amazing. Great way to close out the season. And then, of course, like I mentioned, you all, I will be doing another season 4, January 18th. So make sure y'all be on the lookout for that. And any last words or anything you want to tell the viewers and listeners, Arthur?
I just say, be authentically you. No matter what your sign is, no matter what when you were born, just be authentically you. And that way, people say you only live once. No, you live every day. You only die once. Live each day as it's given to you, and be authentically you.
I love that. Yeah, you live every day. That's true.
Yeah, you live every day. You only die once.
Yeah.
Jesus, the only person I know came back.
Right. And we're not him. So
so live each day, man. Authentically you. Whatever that is, whatever that looks
like. Nice. Okay. I love it. All right.
Appreciate you, man. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. And the words to the next Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, that's right. All right, Arthur, I appreciate it.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
All right, we'll talk.
All right.